We're here in Golomoti in the central region of Malawi, and we're here to test our survey instruments for the initial assessment phase of the small-scale processing project that's currently funded by the Global Center for Food System Innovation. The overall goal of the project is to improve livelihoods for actors along the pigeon pea value chain, particularly the small-scale actors, at each stage of the value chain. The project also has a very strong urban to rural linkage component, and the goal is really to be able to connect the actors in the rural areas to the actors in the urban areas, or the retailers in the urban areas where there's a demand for this particular legume. So we also have a very strong gender component, and that's really informed by the evidence that we gathered in 2014 when we conducted a gender analysis of the pigeon pea value chain in Malawi. So this week we were here to finalize the initial assessment instruments that we developed in collaboration with our partners in Luana. So we just wanted to go through, especially with the enumerators, train them on how to use the instruments, make sure that they understand the questions that we're asking and the overall objective of the project. So we were able to accomplish that, and right now we are here testing the instruments to make sure that the questions make sense to the actors along the pigeon pea value chain. In terms of who we've been working with, we've been working with our colleagues at Luana, and we're also working with the local NGO, Self-Help Africa, who is actually going to be that organization, or the NGO is going to help us, penetrating or help us by connecting us to some of the farmer groups that they've been working with. And we think that that's very important for us, especially for the success of this activity. So we have strong local partners. So the small-scale processing technology is supposed to add value to the pigeon pea. I think for now the objective is to have something that the actors want and something that they think has a strong potential to improving their livelihoods. As far as what the final technology is going to look like, we have an idea, but again, we're using a human-centered design approach. We want to build something with the end users, as main actors in the technology development process. So that's again one of the reasons why this initial assessment is very important, because we want to be able to start building relationships with the actors, and eventually with the actors at each stage of the value chain, and eventually including them as part of the technology development committee, because we want them to be part of the process so that the technology eventually would be helpful to them. And it will be something that they want and something that they see the potential potential to improve their livelihood. Because quite often, as researchers, we tend to make assumptions about, how things are, what people think, what people would value, or what people need. And I think that this assessment really offers us an opportunity to learn more about the systems in which we're getting into, to understand some of the social aspects, of the system that might have implication for the activity. And so this initial assessment opportunity or phase of the project has been very interesting, even, as we look at the participation of the students and the type of questions that they're asking us. It really helps us to really understand that, our understanding of the context, it's often not exactly what's going on, in these places. So okay. I think it's a very important phase. It helps to build relationships. It helps to really understand what the needs are. It helps to validate some of the questions that you have in the instrument. So it's very important from a co-creation point of view, because we're creating something with the people of Malawi and also with something that's going to benefit them. We're not creating for them, we're creating with them, which I think is a very important part of what we're doing. I've been very impressed with the participation of our Luana partners. They've been very, very involved from day one, and that has been very, 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 that has really impressed me. And the students too, coming from different backgrounds, but their ability to quickly understand what we're doing and to provide feedback. Yesterday we had a session where the students had an opportunity to test the questions, and they came out with a lot of feedback on how the questions have to be revised, how the retailers or the farmers are interpreting the questions, which was very fascinating to me, which really shows me that they understand what we're trying to do, and they were able to identify some of those questions that either did not properly make sense or had to be rephrased. So I've been really impressed with our experiences so far.